burning question powered by Cool Fans.
Rahul Gandhi insults martyrs, call Pulwama attack a car bomb blast. He said mitti mein mila denge and he's doing it. Yes, I'm talking about Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Baba Yogi's mega bulldozers action day 3 in Prayagraj. From Prayagraj to Mau, bulldozer attack on house of Mukhtar Ansari's son bulldozed in Mau. Bribe gate hits Bomai government as the BJP MLA's son is caught red-handed with wads and wads of cash. Embarrassment for the BJP. SEBI slaps market ban on actor Arshad Warsi and wife for share price manipulation through YouTube videos.
Principle was signed by the presidents and the prime ministers, according to which no country and no organization in the OSCE region can pretend to dominate militarily.
Russian foreign minister launches fiery attack, says Russia defending itself as West weaponizes the Ukraine. Well, hello and welcome viewers. I am Aishwarya Kapoor and you're watching The Burning Question. Well, it's burning, yes, in Uttar Pradesh. When Baba said, mitti mein mila dunga to the mafias, even the mafia and their supporters didn't thought for a minute that he's going to live up to his word, but the man is. Third day, yes, today is the third day of the biggest ever crackdown against the mafias, the gundas. From Prayagraj to Mau, from Atiq Ahmed to Mukhtar Ansari's. And these names, viewers, is just not like that. Even, there was a time in the politics of Uttar Pradesh when politicians, senior police officers were scared to take these two names, Atiq Ahmed and Mukhtar Ansari. They were scared. There was a time. Today, the same Uttar Pradesh police, when Baba is at the helm of the affairs, is bringing their illegitimate properties down. And like how? But there was also a time which the people of Uttar Pradesh have seen when the same UP police used to provide escorts. Escort, and not one or two. 4, 5, 5, 6, 6 escort vehicles in front of these same Mafia Dons vehicles were there. To a point that there was a brief time when there used to be route used to be put in place. A gypsy with a red flag used to come out with an LMG on top. That these Dons are coming, clear the road. Arey, hat jao. Dons are coming from there to here, from that time to this. That's the topic for the debate. But first, this special package, and then we have a full pack.
कि माफिया कोई भी हो, सरकार की जीरो टॉलरेंस की नीति है और उन माफियाओं के खिलाफ मिट्टी में मिलाने का काम उनको हमारी सरकार करेगी.
This is what justice looks like in Uttar Pradesh. This is Yogi's bulldozer attack on the mafia that he had promised. This is the building of alleged financier of Atiq Ahmed that was bulldozed by Yogi government.
पहला जो एक्शन है जेसीबी का देखने को मिल रहा है. दीवारों में अब छेद किया जा रहा है. दीवार गिराने की प्रक्रिया शुरू हो चुकी है. माशुकुद्दीन इस शख्स का नाम है. असरावल गांव है, प्रधान बताया जाता है और इस पर आरोप है कि इसने फंडिंग की है. ये पुराना हिस्ट्री शूटर रहा है. अतीक का करीबी बताया जा रहा है. पुलिस का कहना है, प्रशासन का कहना है कि नोटिस दिया गया था लेकिन मकान खाली नहीं किया। और उसके बाद देखिए आप, जेसीबी पहुंची है, प्रशासन पहुंचा है, विकास प्राधिकरण यहां पर पहुंचा है, उत्तर प्रदेश की पुलिस एसटीपी में यहां पर है और पूरे इलाके को कॉर्डन ऑफ कर लिया गया है।
A two-story building of Mukhtar Ansari's son was demolished in Mao. The action was initiated after it was alleged that the gangster's son did not get the necessary approval for building. This is the third demolition in 3 days. However, the crackdown on Mafia seems to have rattled the opposition. But the burning question is, why is the opposition rushing to defend Mafia? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Well, I have a full pack house. I have Anila Singh from the BJP. I have Binay Singh, political analyst and a writer. I have the national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Anurag Bhadoria, in the studio with Binay Singh, and Rohit Agrawal, spokesperson of the RLD. I start with you, Anila Singh and Anurag Bhadoria. Anurag Bhadoria, from a time when these people, when these mafias were giving escorts and routes, you can't forget, Anurag Bhadoria. Ab to isi Uttar Pradesh ke hain, you understand. A gypsy, red flag, LMG route used to be given to these mafias. And now, when their illegitimate property is being brought down, you have a problem, Anurag Bhadoria? Why? Can you explain to the people of this country?
मैं ऐश्वर्या जी आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं, उत्तर प्रदेश में सरकार किसकी है?
The BJP. You have a doubt about it?
तो जिम्मेदारी भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार की होती है, विपक्ष की होती है? मैं पूछना चाहता हूं कि सरेआम रोड के ऊपर में बम चलाए जा रहे हैं, गोलियां चल रही हैं, आखिर हिम्मत इन गुंडों के पास कहां से आई है? कैसे इनकी हिम्मत आ गई कि सरेआम गोलियां और बारूद चला रहे हैं आप? क्योंकि आप उस पे कार्रवाई ठीक से करते नहीं है। अगर आप ठीक से कार्रवाई कर देंगे तो फिर ऐसी हिम्मत, सुनिए मेरी बात, घटना लखीमपुर में हुई, आपने लखीमपुर में अगर ठोक के कार्रवाई कर दी होती तो आज इन गुंडे बदमाशों की हिम्मत नहीं पड़ती। आपने जिस तरह की घटना कानपुर के अंदर हुई, मां बेटी जिंदा जल गई, लेकिन क्या कार्रवाई हुई मैं पूछना चाहता हूं। इसी तरह से लखनऊ में कार्रवाई हुई, बीच चौराहे पे एक ब्लॉक प्रमुख मार दिया गया। इसी तरह से उन्नाव की घटना हुई, फिर लखीमपुर में घटना हुई, बच्ची के साथ अन्याय हुआ। मैं पूछना चाहता हूं, लगातार कानपुर में कितने 8 सिपाही मारे गए थे, आपको याद हो, दरोगा जी भी उसमें शामिल थे। इसी तरह से इंस्पेक्टर सुबोध की हत्या हुई थी। मैं पूछना चाह रहा हूं, लगातार इस तरह के विवेक तिवारी की हत्या लखनऊ के अंदर में हुई, कोई एक आध घटना हो तो बताएं। अगर आप ठोक के कार्रवाई हमेशा कर दें, सुनने को तो मिलता है कि कानून व्यवस्था चौकस हो गई है, मजबूत हो गई है, अब यहां गुंडे बदमाश भाग गए, लेकिन गुंडे बदमाश तो रोड पे गोलियां चला रहे हैं, पिस्तौल चला रहे हैं, बम चला रहे हैं। उसके बाद आप उसको क्या करते हो? फिर विपक्ष पे हमला करते हो। माने सत्ता जब आपकी रहती है तब आप जब सत्ता में आप नहीं होते हो तो हमारे ऊपर हमला करते हो। अब आपकी सत्ता है तो माने आप अपनी जिम्मेदारी क्यों नहीं लेते? आप अपनी जिम्मेदारी लेने से भागते हैं। 5 सेकंड, आप अपनी जिम्मेदारी से क्यों भागते हैं? ना विपक्ष में रह के जिम्मेदारी निभा पाते हैं, ना सत्ता पक्ष में रह के जनता की जिम्मेदारी निभा पा रहे हैं। हम विपक्ष की जिम्मेदारी निभा रहे हैं।
Anila Singh of the BJP, Anila Singh, some of the Samajwadi Party is putting the blame on you, is saying it's your government. Why are you not acting? Anila.
My ram to everyone, and the thing is,
yes, Anila Singh.
The thing is, if we talk about Samajwadi Party, if we talk about the BSP, they are Bhagwa haters, Hindu haters, and they love to do the politics of appeasement, and in that they simply pamper, shelter the mafias like Atiq Ahmed. Atiq Ahmed was a petty criminal, then they nurtured him. They nurtured him into mafia, into a person who did heinous crime. So this is what they created. They created a monster out of him. So this is the reality of Samajwadi Party or the BSP, if I say so. The thing is, if he
out, Anila Singh, the question is, Anila Singh, the point which the opposition is saying, Anila Singh, the point which the opposition is making, that Prayagraj happened and their leader Akhilesh Yadav raised the issue in the Vidhan Sabha, in the assembly, aptly, correctly, he should have, and he did. But now my counter or the BJP's counter to the SP should be, now when the action is being taken, Anurag Bhadoria, onto the mafias, why are you not backing the government?
अरे सरकार,
Why can't you look over and beyond your partisan politics?
मैं तो सरकार से कह रहा हूं ना कि आप 100,
क्या कह रहे हैं?
सुनिए, 100 टॉप 10 माफिया हैं, उनकी लिस्ट जारी कर दीजिए, कार्रवाई कर दीजिए। इसने आपको रोका है। पूछिए बीजेपी के प्रवक्ता से।
नहीं, सीधी सी बात है,
आप
जो
100 माफिया की लिस्ट जारी कर दीजिए ना और उन पे कार्रवाई कीजिए।
इनको बिल्कुल तकलीफ नहीं हो रही है और ये
अरे अब मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ आपके,
और ये बिल्कुल करना चाहिए उनको, क्योंकि इनकी राजनीति इस पर जाती है।
मैं कह रहा हूँ, मैं कहाँ हिंदू मुस्लिम कर रहा हूँ, मैं माफिया की बात कर रहा हूँ। माफिया की ना कोई जात होती है, ना धर्म होता है, ना कोई दल होता है, वो इंसानियत का दुश्मन होता है। उस पर आप कार्रवाई कीजिए, लेकिन आप राजनीति क्यों कर रहे हैं? आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ 100 या 50 टॉप माफिया के नाम लिस्ट जारी कर दीजिए और हम लोग मिलकर उस पर आइए, उस पर बात करते हैं, उस पर कार्रवाई कीजिए। कोई कुछ नहीं बोलेगा। हर 2 महीने बाद एक घटना हो जाती है और आप समाजवादी पार्टी को दोषारोपण करने लगते हैं।
ओके विनय सिंह अनिला सिंह अनुराग भदौरिया, होल्ड ऑन। अनिला सिंह अनुराग भदौरिया, विनय सिंह प्लीज, यू नीड टू एनालाइज दिस न्यूट्रली. You need to see the Samajwadi Party is saying, look, we are the opposition. Prayagraj happened in your rule. The BJP is saying it's the fallout impact of what was done under your rule and we are correcting it. And they say now when we act against these mafias, the Mukhtar Ansaris and the Atiq Ahmeds, why are you not supporting us?
ऐश्वर्य भाई, ये सेम चर्चा पिछले साल भी हुई थी, होली का ही समय था। मैं बड़ा उद्गार में था, अपने भाव एक मित्र को बताया, पवन जी नाम है, उन्होंने एक कविता लिख दी भोजपुरी में, मैं सुना दूं?
प्लीज बोलिए।
फुटल किरनिया भइल भोर, जयकारा तनी जोर से लगा दा। आ जब से महथ बाबा शासन में अइले, चोरवन के लूटल पाटल फारी के निकलले। जोगी जी मचौले हड़होर, चोर सब बिली में लुकैले। आप समझ रहे हैं सर?
मैं समझ गया, चोर सारे बिल में घुस गए।
यस। आगे उसमें था कि अबर दुबर के अब रही या छेकात नहीं थे, मतलब कि कमजोर लोगों का अब कोई रास्ता रोक नहीं रहा है। हई देखिए अब बबी या डेरात नहीं थे, ये देखिए लड़कियां डर नहीं रही हैं। अबर दुबर के अब रही या छेकात नहीं थे, हई देखिए अब बबी या डेरात नहीं थे।
होल्ड ऑन, हैव अ लाइटर मूड, रोहित अग्रवाल, रिलैक्स।
गली गली रहता अंजोर, जयकारा तनी जोर से लगा दो। अरे यार, ये बीच में नहीं टोकना चाहिए। आनंद लीजिए, क्यों टेंशन में आ जाते हैं यार? अतिक अहमद का
रोहित अग्रवाल of the RLD, I'll come to you. Rohit Agarwal, I'll come to you. Hold on. One by one. Let's have a decent debate. Rohit, I'll come to you. Hold on. Rohit, I'll come to you at your turn. Please relax, Rohit ji. I'll come to you. Hold on. Relax.
Yeah. Rohit, I don't think why you are offended. I am speaking Bhojpuri, that's why you are offended. Or Atiq Ahmed house is being demolished, that's why you are offended. I am not able to understand, but it's a bad habit. You must not intervene when someone else is speaking. This is not your turn. This was my turn. No, this was my. This is not mimicry, man. This is a serious language. This is my language. Bhojpuri my भाषा है भाई. Mimicry है. Mimicry है. अरे क्या बात कर रहे हो रोहित?
Two policemen are killed and you are playing here holy mimicry.
You must respect the diversity.
What diversity you are talking about?
I think
you need to understand. Next second. Hold on.
What kind of hypocrisy is this?
He is not mimicking. वो अपनी भाषा में बोल रहे हैं. He is not mimicking anyone. Rohit, I didn't come to you. Point number one. Back on the debate. Let's not waste any time. Rohit Agarwal is the RLD backing action on mafias or not? Straight question, straight answer.
Aishwarya, I don't know from where
there is a new Jumla for Mars.
Mars or Neptune he has come from. This is a language of Earth, sir.
I have come from the Uttar Pradesh language.
A majority population in the world.
Coming back on the issue. Vinay ji, coming back on
this. Just chill, man.
Don't call my language
don't make a mimicry of
absolutely no one's language. Absolutely respect.
Of a death of 3 people.
Again, he is not understand. Please, I don't want to get my debate into this. Hold on. Vinay Singh and Anurag Bhadoria, can I please be excused by Rohit Agarwal? Thank you. Rohit Agarwal, you are not understanding the point. Rohit Agarwal, no one is mimicking. Come back on the point. Anurag Bhadoria, Vinay Singh.
रोहित, आप बेइज्जती कर रहे हैं भारतीय भाषा की,
बर्दाश्त नहीं की जाएगी।
मैं सीधी सी बात कह रहा हूँ कि भैया सरकार आपकी है, आप कहते हो कि माफिया
अनुराग भाई, इनको भाषा की बदतमीजी की इन्होंने।
Come back. Can I be excused with Rohit Agarwal, please, sir? Thank you. विनय सिंह और अनुराग भदौरिया।
देखिए, मुझे एक बात अभी तक नहीं समझ में आ रही भारतीय जनता पार्टी की, कि आप वो क्यों भूल जाती कि वो सरकार में है। जब भी सरकार में जहां पे जिस
No, they are not forgetting, they are acting, they are seeking for your support.
sir,
You as the opposition should support them.
की सरकार है भैया, उसके पहले कार्रवाई कर देते तो वो पुलिस वाला बच जाता।
But now they are acting.
उमेश पाल सुन लिए, उमेश पाल बच जाता। कानपुर की घटना में माँ बेटी जिंदा जल गई।
Point is right, Vinay से
खड़ा रहा।
Point is right, Vinay से
कब तक इस तरह
Point is right, Vinay से
कब तक दूसरों पे दोष देंगे?
Vinay Singh, point is right.
से कब तक भागेंगे?
Point is right, Vinay Singh, point is right. Yeah.
You have reported policing.
Hold on, Mr. Agrawal. Thank you very much. Yeah. Carry on, Vinay Singh.
As far as you know policing better than anyone else. Crime can be minimized. Nobody knows that who is going to come and shoot me when I am on the road. But if a crime is committed, the state has duty bound to teach the criminals a lesson that these things could not be repeated in future.
तो कानपुर
And I think अच्छा one more thing Anurag ji, can you name any state in this country where law and order
अरे दादा सुन
is a flagship program? It's Uttar Pradesh.
दादा सुन लीजिए, लखीमपुर की घटना में क्या लेसन दिया गया? काउंटर लखीमपुरी घटना में आपने क्या लेसन दिया? वही तो मैं जानना चाह रहा हूँ, जनता भी जानना चाह रही है क्या लेसन दिया आपने?
Okay, point taken, Mr. Agrawal. Now to you, Rohit Agrawal of the RLD. Rohit Agrawal, can you please tell me, is the RLD
opposition?
Anila Singh, I'll come to you.
Who nurtured
is the RLD backing?
They are talking. They are trying.
Is the RLD backing the action on mafias or not? Rohit Agrawal.
Ashwarya, we are questioning a government when you will take action on mafias. Actually, it's being a weak time when mafias are far away from the government. Government could not do anything and mafias are enjoying their freedom easily. And this government is just giving new jumlas to the bhags, mitti mein mila denge. What is happening is, mafias are enjoying their freedom. कहीं पे वो मजे कर रहे हैं और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की पुलिस उनसे बहुत दूर है। आप बताइए, एक हफ्ता हो गया और अभी तक जिन लोगों को गोली चलाते हुए, बम फेंकते हुए देखा गया था, कहां है वो? कहां है? आप बुलडोजर दिखा के आप वाहवाही लूटना चाहते हो। ये बुलडोज करने से वाहवाही नहीं मिलने वाली है। हमको उन लोगों को चाहिए जेल के पीछे, सलाखों के पीछे चाहिए जो बम।
Anila Singh, answer to that. Anila Singh, answer to that, and then I'm taking ending questions for all. This is a brief debate. Yeah. Anila Singh, counter that, please.
Anila Singh, let me make myself very clear.
No, you've been clear, Mr. Agrawal. Calm down, but I have to.
Mimicry of this incident.
समाजवादी पार्टी की छोटी सी उंगली पकड़कर चलने वाला ही राजनीतिक दल आज हमको बताएगा कि किस तरीके से माफिया और डॉन और अपराधियों के ऊपर हमें कंट्रोल करना है।
2 विधायक और 2 सांसद
यहाँ पर योगी आदित्यनाथ जी से थर्राकर अपराधी जो हैं या तो राज्य छोड़कर चले जाते हैं या तो वो भाग लेते हैं सही कामों में, नहीं तो यहाँ से भाग लेते हैं।
लाइट मर्डर हो रहा है इनकी सरकार में, इनकी सरकार में डे लाइट मर्डर हो।
Listen, ending comments. 10 seconds. Anurag Bhadoria, are you backing this movement or not?
मैंने तो एक बात,
hold on, Anila ji.
मैंने भारतीय जनता के प्रवक्ता से मैंने पूछा कि आप टॉप 100 माफिया की लिस्ट जारी कर दीजिए और उन पे कार्रवाई कर दीजिए, बात खत्म हो जाए। क्यों नहीं जारी कर रहे हैं? कहीं आपको डर लगता है क्या कि अपने भी उसमें ना आ जाएं?
अरे फिर तो
इसीलिए आप डर से नहीं निकाल रहे हैं। निकाल दीजिए टॉप 100, हम तो आपके साथ खड़े हैं।
quick, ending comments, ending comments. Rohit Agrawal, calm down.
Bulldozer is nothing but it has become a symbol of good law and order. It has become a symbol of good law governance, good law and order.
There is no doubt about that, Vinay Singh. There is no doubt about that. But Mr. Agrawal, I would just try to tell you.
They are enjoying their
Mr. Rohit Agrawal, I would just try to tell you, a bit away from this debate, the comment you made about the language you should have never made, you should forget. You should not forget. You represent the lineage of Chaudhry Charan Singh ji. Chaudhry साहब की lineage वाली पार्टी के हैं आप. Don't make such comments on parties. Anila Singh, thank you very much. I have very brief time. Vinay Singh, Anurag Bhadoria, thank you very much to all of you. But one thing is clear, that Baba's bulldozer is back and with a bang, viewers. Thank you very much. Don't go. Part 2 of Burning Question will be back. Thank you.
We have alliances with Prague News, News Live, we have the C voter data. So what we are doing right now in Republic is that we are putting the fastest numbers out live. There is nobody more loyal than you to the Congress. Congress is over. I want to know from you, Mr. Salim, what is your love for the Congress? There's so much love, affection.
Are you not ruling out any kind of post-poll alliance?
That's what I'm saying. We'll see when the numbers come out. Fine.
The first election of the year 2023 has been very positive for Bharatiya Janata Party. It has begun from Northeast India, and I feel this is good for India.
Nobody knows the future. What will happen in future, nobody knows. If there is if, then we can decide.
Manish Sisodia is now being taken to Rouse Avenue.
Top sources now confirming to Republic TV that Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia has been placed under arrest. Accused number 1 in the liquor scam has been arrested.
Satyendra Jain is no more a minister in the Arvind Kejriwal's cabinet. Manish Sisodia is no more the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. His resignation has been accepted by Arvind Kejriwal.
Arvind Kejriwal has accepted the resignation of both of his top ministers accused of corruption. Satyendra Jain accused of hawala, money laundering and other such matters. Manish Sisodia accused of corruption in Liquorgate. Arvind Kejriwal beginning to distance himself from both. Politics, after all, is all about survival. And all politicians will go all out to make sure that any dirt does not stick, especially not on them. Arvind Kejriwal has massive national ambitions. So while standing by them, he is by gently asking them to resign, also ensuring very smartly that there is a distance between him and any of the charges that Jain or Sisodia face. So is all this talk about corruption within and around the Aam Aadmi Party not affecting the party's image? Does it not seriously come in the way of its planned national catapult? Can Arvind Kejriwal seek your vote around an anti-corruption agenda anymore? And if not, then what is the USP now? That is why I need to ask the very pointed questions again. Because only those pointed questions can define what the truth is. We have alliances with Prague News, News Live, we have the C voter data. So what we are doing right now in Republic is that we are putting the fastest numbers out live. There is nobody more loyal than you to the Congress. Congress is over. I want to know from you, Mr. Salim, what is your love for the Congress? There's so much love, affection.
Are you not ruling out any kind of post-poll alliance?
That's what I'm saying. We'll see when the numbers come out. Fine.
The first election of the year 2023 has been very positive for Bharatiya Janata Party. It has begun from Northeast India, and I feel this is good for India.
These sufferings are related to the sanctions, to the policy of blackmail, the policy of diktat, which the West is promoting. It's a shame. It's a shame, and this policy would fail. If they say this is existential for them, it is existential.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
Arvind Kejriwal has accepted the resignation of both of his top ministers accused of corruption. Satyendra Jain accused of hawala, money laundering and other such matters. Manish Sisodia accused of corruption in Liquorgate. Arvind Kejriwal beginning to distance himself from both. Politics, after all, is all about survival. And all politicians will go all out to make sure that any dirt does not stick, especially not on them. Arvind Kejriwal has massive national ambitions. So while standing by them, he is by gently asking them to resign, also ensuring very smartly that there is a distance between him and any of the charges that Jain or Sisodia face. So is all this talk about corruption within and around the Aam Aadmi Party not affecting the party's image? Does it not seriously come in the way of its planned national catapult? Can Arvind Kejriwal seek your vote around an anti-corruption agenda anymore? And if not, then what is the USP now? That is why I need to ask the very pointed questions again. Because only those pointed questions can define what the truth is. We have alliances with Prague News, News Live, we have the C voter data. So what we are doing right now in Republic is that we are putting the fastest numbers out live. There is nobody more loyal than you to the Congress. Congress is over. I want to know from you, Mr. Salim, what is your love for the Congress? There's so much love, affection.
Are you not ruling out any kind of post-poll alliance?
That's what I'm saying. We'll see when the numbers come out.
The first election of the year 2023 has been very positive for Bharatiya Janata Party. It has begun from Northeast India, and I feel this is good for India.
Nobody knows the future. What will happen in future, nobody knows. If there is if, then we can decide.
Sisodia is now being taken to Rouse Avenue.
Top sources now confirming to Republic TV that Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia has been placed under arrest. Accused number 1 in the liquor scam has been arrested.
Satyendra Jain is no more a minister in the Arvind Kejriwal's cabinet. Manish Sisodia is no more the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. His resignation has been accepted by Arvind Kejriwal.
We have alliances with Prague News, News Live, we have the C voter data. So what we are doing right now in Republic is that we are putting the fastest numbers out live. There is nobody more loyal than you to the Congress. Congress is over. I want to know from you, Mr. Salim, what is your love for the Congress? There's so much love, affection.
Are you not ruling out any kind of post-poll alliance?
That's what I'm saying. We'll see when the numbers come out.
The first election of the year 2023 has been very positive for Bharatiya Janata Party. It has begun from Northeast India, and I feel this is good for India.
Nobody knows the future. What will happen in future, nobody knows. If there is if, then we can decide.
Sisodia is now being taken to Rouse Avenue.
Top sources now confirming to Republic TV that Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia has been placed under arrest. Accused number 1 in the liquor scam has been arrested.
Satyendra Jain is no more a minister in the Arvind Kejriwal's cabinet. Manish Sisodia is no more the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. His resignation has been accepted by Arvind Kejriwal.
Arvind Kejriwal has accepted the resignation of both of his top ministers accused of corruption. Satyendra Jain accused of hawala, money laundering and other such matters. Manish Sisodia accused of corruption in Liquorgate. Arvind Kejriwal beginning to distance himself from both. Politics, after all, is all about survival. And all politicians will go all out to make sure that any dirt does not stick, especially not on them. Arvind Kejriwal has massive national ambitions. So while standing by them, he is by gently asking them to resign, also ensuring very smartly that there is a distance between him and any of the charges that Jain or Sisodia face. So is all this talk about corruption within and around the Aam Aadmi Party not affecting the party's image? Does it not seriously come in the way of its planned national catapult? Can Arvind Kejriwal seek your vote around an anti-corruption agenda anymore? And if not, then what is the USP now? That is why I need to ask the very pointed questions again. Because only those pointed questions can define what the truth is. We have alliances with Prague News, News Live, we have the C voter data. So what we are doing right now in Republic is that we are putting the fastest numbers out live. There is nobody more loyal than you to the Congress. Congress is over. I want to know.
Trending burning question powered by Cool Fans.
Welcome back, friends, to this section of the burning question. You know, it happens almost always that every time Rahul Gandhi escapes from India, he suffers from the escape velocity syndrome, where he starts getting the sense that Indian democracy is under attack. Is Indian democracy under attack? Because the Supreme Court can tell the government that they will get into the decision of selecting who is going to be the chief election commissioner and the election commissioner. Is democracy under attack? Because 40 of our CRPF braves were killed, martyred by terrorists in Pulwama, and Rahul Gandhi thinks that those were car bombers. Is our democracy under attack? Because in an election that has been that has given the result, the kind of result that it has given yesterday, of the 180 seats, the Congress party wins just 8, and then those who win, they don't want to ally with the Congress party. Is it the fault of the government or the people that Congress party is finding itself cornered, and Rahul Gandhi, because he has perhaps no solution to it, blames India's democracy, and that too from foreign soil? We discussed that today after this short story with a good panel after this package.
February 14, 2019, 40 CRPF Jawans were martyred in the biggest terror attack in Kashmir. 4 years later, Rahul Gandhi is insulting the martyrs on international platform. Listen to how he calls Pulwama terror attack an attack by car bomber.
In fact, that picture there is me putting flowers on the spot where almost 40 soldiers were killed by a car bomb.
He refuses to call it a terror attack and attempts to whitewash jihadi terrorism.
And he says, you see those guys over there? And I'm like, yes, who? He's like, those boys over there. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, the militants. Right? Now, militants should normally kill me. In that environment, militants should kill me. And he says, they're there. And they're looking at you. So I look at them and they give me this sort of, I'm serious, they give me this sort of look. And I'm like, okay, I'm now in trouble, right? Because this guy's just told me this, they give me this look, and I give them this look back, and then we carry on, nothing happens, right?
This is the same Congress that gave the word homegrown terrorists.
To who provided the kilograms of RDX, the Mi-4 carbines and rocket launchers to the homegrown so-called terrorists. Homegrown so-called terrorists.
And with this, Vadra Congress is once again trying to compromise national interest. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
All right, joining me in this conversation, Ashutosh Mishra, senior journalist, leans over the Congress party, live from Delhi. Shyam Prasad Meka, leader of the Congress party, live from Hyderabad. And then we have Shaina NC, spokesperson of the BJP, but I would want to begin with General K.K. Sinha. Major General K.K. Sinha, very good evening, sir. Calling Pulwama martyrs soldiers killed and the terrorist a car bomber. Is it just a matter of semantics, General Sinha, you think, or that there is a psyche within the Congress party as reflected in those comments by Rahul Gandhi, which does not understand the gravity of the situation in Kashmir? For God's sake, they were martyrs killed by terrorists.
Abhishek, good evening. These are not the slip of tongue. These are not the ideas. These are the blatant lies. These are their design in a foreign soil in a global platform. You try to peddle something, and try to show that, your country in a bad light. Not only in bad light, absolutely a different narrative they want to create. When he talks about Pulwama, that it was it is a car bomber who did it. And he uses the word militants. The militants is not there anymore. We have not been talking about. It was the jihadis. These are not cementing. It has got a lot of connotations. You try to do it exactly what your foreign media and the Western media is trying to actually portray that way. Homegrown terrorists.
Yes.
This is the idea. It is done by you. There was one narrative which was during that time, 2019, during that election time, they were saying probably it has been done for political gain. Even that narrative was created. And Abhishek, just leave it, this militancy and car bombing. He spoke about China. The way he was talking about the philosophy of China, different. No one has given, that underscored that particular part. He is peddling for China and a philosophy, and he's saying is a different than the Western idea of what the China is.
Yeah, he said China is a harmonious society, something to that effect.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely, sir. The couple of points that you make, I want to take this conversation forward from where you say it's like using language which is more akin to what the foreign media says, sort of pushing in a narrative and then calling China a harmonious society or something to that effect. If I could go to Shyam Prasad Meka. Mr. Meka, how are you going to defend these comments made by Rahul Gandhi? He is not able to call terrorists in Kashmir, despite having been there, saying he has looked at terrorists and he thought that he might be killed. If he understands that he could have been killed, those soldiers were killed by the terrorists. Why, do this pussyfooting around words? Why not call a spade, Mr. Meka?
See, Abhishek, first of all, I don't know why you said how I am going to defend it. There is nothing to defend. Mr. Gandhi spoke at the Cambridge. He spoke in the context of
what he's speaking
about. And I don't know why we are all worked out so much about that. See, he simply was narrating.
We shouldn't be worked up. We shouldn't be worked up about what Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said. This Pulwama terrorist thing is just one thing which he skipped. And the other things that he has said Indian democracy is under attack. Mr. Meka just yesterday, the topmost court of the country gave an order in which it told the government that they would be getting into a committee and decide who is going to be the election commissioner of India. Is that not wonderful functioning of Indian democracy, Mr. Meka?
Please just make one point.
People who were killed by a car bomber. What is wrong in it?
What do you mean? What is wrong in it?
There is something that
was nothing but jihadi terrorist groups. You have
China. He is not finding anything wrong. China.
I feel sorry for such people who have to defend the independence. What are you talking, sir? He's got to keep it on international platform.
What do you expect? We expect that he does not badmouth India. He does not call Indian democracy as weak. Incidentally, he has said that a day after losing an election.
This is not jihadi.
Mr. Meka, where the Congress party won a princely number of 8 seats out of 180 that went to poll.
It's about the country. It's about the narrative. It's about what as a society, what as a democratic society.
Okay, let me tell you what country and narrative he has talked about. Mr. Meka, listen to me. China, just hold on. China, just hold on. Let me just, I have gone through the speech. Let me just hold on. I have taken notes. Mr. Meka, listen. Mr. Meka, listen. It's unfortunate. Mr. Meka, it's unfortunate. I'll get Ashutosh Mishra also involved in this. China, hold on. China, hold on. Because you asked Mr. Meka what's wrong in it, I'm just telling you what Rahul Gandhi has said, and then you would decide, China would decide, Ashutosh Mishra would decide, General Sinha would decide, and the people of this country would decide whether it's right or wrong. Now, I'm going one by one, listen to it patiently. I'll take exactly 1.5 minutes. He says a girl comes to him and tells him she was gang raped along with her sister by 5 men. And she did not go to police because she thought she would be ashamed. And then Mr. Gandhi says, my impulse was, let's call police, but she stopped me from calling police. And then he says, you extrapolate that and you see thousands of women in India would have gone through similar experience. Under whose government Nirbhaya happened. It's unfortunate that we are even talking about this.
He's trying to push in a narrative, for God's sake, that there are rapes happening in this country and women don't have the courage to go to police. Does that really happen?
Yes, it is. That's the reality. Do you think it's all hunky-dory? Do you think it's all hunky-dory in the country? Forget about which government it is. The women of this country have been suffering at the hands of men, the patriarchal society,
China,
for centuries. Is it not true?
China Congress, Congress representative here on the panel says that this is the reality of our country, that thousands of women are being raped and they don't have the courage to go to police.
Isn't it?
And he's okay with that narrative. He's saying, what's wrong with that?
Mr. Gandhi has the courage and he is showing it.
Absolute lies. Please go educate yourself.
But is it about painting this particular government in a certain picture, Mr. Meka? That's the question.
Questions that the Indian democracy, questions the safety of the women of this country, which he has no knowledge of. Please tell him to go back and educate himself. I can understand the bitter pill that you
No, he won't get educated in the WhatsApp university.
Has won election after election, and it's a referendum, a mandate by the people of this country. When we talk about women of India repose faith in Prime Minister Modi, and you are insulting the women. You are insulting the martyrs in Pulwama and pretending that there is no terrorist jihadi attack at all. If he has no knowledge, please tell him to go back and educate himself and become an experienced politician.
Definitely has
Just
no knowledge
spoiling
of where the
India's
reputation,
calling
Pulwama
a car bomb attack.
The
people of this country are way too intelligent. They have dismissed him. He is using an international platform to show his inexperience and his
just give more examples from his speech, which I thought are not okay. I am not okay with them. I am taking a position I am not okay. Listen, Shaina. Mr. Meka, listen. I take it forward and I'll ask this to Ashutosh whether he is okay with these comments. Now he says Indian democracy is under attack, Ashutosh, and Modi is blowing his country to smithereens. And then he shows a picture of protests of himself at the Vijay Chowk with other Congress leaders. And he says the Congress was not allowed to protest. I mean, for God's sake, I was there at covering those protests when it happened in the monsoon session. The entire bunch of Congress leaders came out of parliament, came to the Vijay Chowk, they protested in those black shirts. They were there for almost an hour. Ashutosh Mishra. And then they were very politely by the police said, taken, in the vans and taken to the police station, and then they were left there. They were not jailed. He's saying, we were jailed. They were not jailed. They were just detained because Vijay Chowk is not the place where you protest. You protest at Jantar Mantar, you protest inside parliament at the statue of Mahatma Gandhi. Ashutosh Mishra, this is lie. Also, then he says, it's really unfortunate, Ashutosh Mishra, listen to it. Then he says, I was sick, a Sikh gentleman is sitting in front of him. Rahul Gandhi says, I have a Sikh gentleman sitting here. He's from the Sikh religion. There are Muslims and Christians in India. He is India. But Mr. Modi says he is not India. Mr. Modi treats him like a second-rate citizen or second-class citizen in India. Is this not fomenting trouble? Is this not giving fire to the spark of separatism, which is already troubling us in Punjab? Is it not aimed at pushing a certain political narrative to buttress your own agenda at the expense of the country, Ashutosh, for God's sake?
So let's start with, we were talking about the threat to women. If you remember, the wrestlers had sat on a protest, the women wrestlers, of sexual and accused a BJP MP of sexual harassment. To say everything is hunky-dory regarding women
in the individual incidents. This is Rahul Gandhi on an international platform saying women can't go to a police station.
That is the problem. The moment you start putting facts in front of them,
I asked a question about telling a Sikh gentleman who's treated as a second-class citizen in the country. Are you even being honest?
This heckling and stopping me from speaking is just
nobody is heckling you,
that when I have a fact,
nobody is heckling you.
When I put a fact in front of them, they have no answer to that. That is the matter of fact. Talking about how
absolute nonsense. You are going on an international platform and saying women cannot register complaints.
So if an MP speaks about link between the Prime Minister and a corporate
you cannot hack the popularity of the Prime Minister. That's the problem. You cannot hack the fact that
story. The conversation that we are having. Do you have the courage to defend Rahul Gandhi today when he says when he tells a Sikh gentleman that they are treated as second-class citizens in the country? Are you endorsing that?
Prime Minister is not
so
God.
The fact of the matter is that you have to realize that there are many people
There's nothing
who
to
are
realize.
unhappy
You have
with Modi policy.
India's elected
whether it be his
international platform.
increasing the scope of UAPA, PMLA,
you
which are
can
used to
call
intimidate
Modi names and you have been doing that. The opposition has been doing that, Ashutosh. But you can't call names to your country.
Why do you presume that people are using his own words to sort of incite this division? So there is somewhere where Mr. Modi has failed to have Sabka Vishwas. You have to accept that. You cannot say everything is hunky-dory. You know, you name names.
Constantly
when you win in Tripura, but your majority is cut by a
women of India have never been more safe and more empowered.
That's not a win. That's a loss. You have to understand.
No, China.
You lose in West Bengal, you lose in Maharashtra, you lose in Tamil Nadu, but you will keep harping about that.
Mishra.
Please tell them to keep quiet.
Ashutosh Mishra.
Every nook and corner.
Ashutosh Mishra, the fact. Oh, Shaina, hold on. I have to just conclude because unfortunately we run out of time. Ashutosh Mishra and Mr. Meka, you know, the fact of the matter is we are having this conversation in prime time because we are a very strong democracy. The example I gave of the Supreme Court, which has decided that the Chief Election Commissioner would be they would be having a say in the decision of who becomes India's Chief Election Commissioner and the rest of the Election Commissioner, shows that we are a strong democracy. The same Supreme Court, by the way, Ashutosh Mishra, which in the case of Pegasus said that this is all humbug, there is no proof, no evidence. Rahul Gandhi again repeated that insinuation that there was Pegasus on his phone and that it stopped him from speaking freely. That's really unfortunate, Ashutosh Mishra. Inciting a Sikh gentleman, telling him that they are treated as second-class citizens in India is not kosher for politics. And Ashutosh Mishra, it is proof of a strong and vibrant democracy that elections are held in a manner that regional parties call the shots in Tripura, not Tripura but Meghalaya and Nagaland. And yet, if they don't want to do business with the Congress party, it is Congress party's problem. I believe Mr. Rahul Gandhi would need some lectures back here in democracy in India before he goes to Cambridge and lectures. On that note, thank you so much, viewers, for joining us. A short break on the other side. Arnab Goswami is back with a fiery debate on the same subject.
That Manish Sisodia is now being taken to Rouse Avenue.
Top sources now confirming to Republic TV that Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia has been placed under arrest. Accused number 1 in the liquor scam has been arrested.
Satyendra Jain is no more a minister in the Arvind Kejriwal's cabinet. Manish Sisodia is no more the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. His resignation has been accepted by Arvind Kejriwal.
Arvind Kejriwal has accepted the resignation of both of his top ministers accused of corruption. Satyendra Jain accused of hawala, money laundering and other such matters. Manish Sisodia accused of corruption in Liquorgate. Arvind Kejriwal beginning to distance himself from both. Politics, after all, is all about survival. And all politicians will go all out to make sure that any dirt does not stick, especially not on them. Arvind Kejriwal has massive national ambitions. So while standing by them, he is by gently asking them to resign, also ensuring very smartly that there is a distance between him and any of the charges that Jain or Sisodia face. So is all this talk about corruption within and around the Aam Aadmi Party not affecting the party's image? Does it not seriously come in the way of its planned national catapult? Can Arvind Kejriwal seek your vote around an anti-corruption agenda anymore? And if not, then what is the USP now? That is why I need to ask the very pointed questions again. Because only those pointed questions can define what the truth is. We have alliances with Prague News, News Live, we have the C voter data. So what we are doing right now in Republic is that we are putting the fastest numbers out live. There is nobody more loyal than you to the Congress. Congress is over. I want to know from you, Mr. Salim, what is your love for the Congress? There's so much love, affection.
Are you not ruling out any kind of post-poll alliance?
That's what I'm saying. We'll see when the numbers come out.
The first election of the year 2023 has been very positive for Bharatiya Janata Party. It has begun from Northeast India, and I feel this is good for India.
Nobody knows the future. What will happen in future, nobody knows. If there is if, then we can decide.
Manish Sisodia is now being taken to Rouse Avenue.
Top sources now confirming to Republic TV that Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia has been placed under arrest. Accused number 1 in the liquor scam has been arrested.
Satyendra Jain is no more a minister in the Arvind Kejriwal's cabinet. Manish Sisodia is no more the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. His resignation has been accepted by Arvind Kejriwal.
Arvind Kejriwal has accepted the resignation of both of his top ministers accused of corruption. Satyendra Jain accused of hawala, money laundering and other such matters. Manish Sisodia accused of corruption in Liquorgate. Arvind Kejriwal beginning to distance himself from both. Politics, after all, is all about survival. And all politicians will go all out to make sure that any dirt does not stick, especially not on them. Arvind Kejriwal has massive national ambitions. So while standing by them, he is by gently asking them to resign, also ensuring very smartly that there is a distance between him and any of the charges that Jain or Sisodia face. So is all this talk about corruption within and around the Aam Aadmi Party not affecting the party's image? Does it not seriously come in the way of its planned national catapult? Can Arvind Kejriwal seek your vote around an anti-corruption agenda anymore? And if not, then what is the USP now? That is why I need to ask the very pointed questions again. Because only those pointed questions can define what the truth is. Arvind Kejriwal has accepted the resignation of both of his top ministers accused of corruption. Satyendra Jain accused of hawala, money laundering and other such matters. Manish Sisodia accused of corruption in Liquorgate. Arvind Kejriwal beginning to distance himself from both. Politics, after all, is all about survival. And all politicians will go all out to make sure that any dirt does not stick, especially not on them. Arvind Kejriwal has massive national ambitions. So while standing by them, he is by gently asking them to resign, also ensuring very smartly that there is a distance.
These sufferings are related to the sanctions, to the policy of blackmail, the policy of diktat, which the West is promoting. It's a shame. It's a shame, and this policy would fail. If they say this is existential for them, it is existential.
Trending burning question powered by Cool.
Clearly see that Manish Sisodia is now being taken to Rouse Avenue.
Top sources now confirming to Republic TV that Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia has been placed under arrest. Accused number 1 in the liquor scam has been arrested.
Satyendra Jain is no more a minister in the Arvind Kejriwal's cabinet. Manish Sisodia is no more the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. His resignation has been accepted by Arvind Kejriwal.
We have alliances with Prague News, News Live. We have the C voter data. So what we are doing right now in Republic is that we are putting the fastest numbers out live. There is nobody more loyal than you to the Congress. Congress is over. I want to know from you, Mr. Salim, what is your love for the Congress? There's so much love, affection.
Are you not ruling out any kind of post-poll alliance?
That's what I'm saying. We'll see when the numbers come out. Fine.
The first election of the year 2023 has been very positive for Bharatiya Janata Party. It has begun from Northeast India, and I feel this is good for India.
Nobody knows the future. What will happen in future, nobody knows. If there is if, then we can decide.
Manish Sisodia is now being taken to Rouse Avenue.
Top sources now confirming to Republic TV that Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia has been placed under arrest. Accused number 1 in the liquor scam has been arrested.
Satyendra Jain is no more a minister in the Arvind Kejriwal's cabinet. Manish Sisodia is no more the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. His resignation has been accepted by Arvind Kejriwal.
Arvind Kejriwal has accepted the resignation of both of his top ministers accused of corruption. Satyendra Jain accused of hawala, money laundering and other such matters. Manish Sisodia accused of corruption in Liquorgate. Arvind Kejriwal beginning to distance himself from both. Politics, after all, is all about survival. And all politicians will go all out to make sure that any dirt does not stick, especially not on them. Arvind Kejriwal has massive national ambitions. So while standing by them, he is by gently asking them to resign, also ensuring very smartly that there is a distance between him and any of the charges that Jain or Sisodia face. So is all this talk about corruption within and around the Aam Aadmi Party not affecting the party's image? Does it not seriously come in the way of its planned national catapult? Can Arvind Kejriwal seek your vote around an anti-corruption agenda anymore? And if not, then what is the USP now? That is why I need to ask the very pointed questions again. Because only those pointed questions can define what the truth is. We have alliances with Prague News, News Live. We have the C voter data. So what we are doing right now in Republic is that we are putting the fastest numbers out live. There is nobody more loyal than you to the Congress. Congress is over. I want to know from you, Mr. Salim, what is your love for the Congress? There's so much love, affection.
Are you not ruling out any kind of post-poll alliance?
That's what I'm saying. We'll see when the numbers come out. Fine.
The first election of the year 2023 has been very positive for Bharatiya Janata Party. It has begun from Northeast India, and I feel this is good for India.
Nobody knows the future. What will happen in future, nobody knows. If there is if, then we can decide.
Manish Sisodia is now being taken to Rouse Avenue.
Top sources now confirming to Republic TV that Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia has been placed under arrest. Accused number 1 in the liquor scam has been arrested.
Satyendra Jain is no more a minister in the Arvind Kejriwal's cabinet. Manish Sisodia is no more the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. His resignation has been accepted by Arvind Kejriwal.
Arvind Kejriwal has accepted the resignation of both of his top ministers accused of corruption. Satyendra Jain accused of hawala, money laundering and other such matters. Manish Sisodia accused of corruption in Liquorgate. Arvind Kejriwal beginning to distance himself from both. Politics, after all, is all about survival. And all politicians will go all out to make sure that any dirt does not stick, especially not on them. Arvind Kejriwal has massive national ambitions. So while standing by them, he is by gently asking them to resign, also ensuring very smartly that there is a distance between him and any of the charges that Jain or Sisodia face. So is all this talk about corruption within and around the Aam Aadmi Party not affecting the party's image? Does it not seriously come in the way of its planned national catapult? Can Arvind Kejriwal seek your vote around an anti-corruption agenda anymore? And if not, then what is the USP now? That is why I need to ask the very pointed questions again. Because only those pointed questions can define what the truth is. We have alliances with Prague News, News Live, we have the C voter data. So what we are doing right now in Republic is that we are putting the fastest numbers out live. There is nobody more loyal than you to the Congress. Congress is over. I want to know from you, Mr. Salim, what is your love for the Congress? There's so much love, affection.
Are you not ruling out any kind of post-poll alliance?
That's what I'm saying. We'll see when the numbers come out.
The first
4 जनरेशन आपने बोला जी 4 जनरेशन वो जो सन्स
वही तो मैं कह रहा था
आपके ग्रैंडफादर आपके फादर आप
जो मैं मिस कर गया 20 दिन वो विजयंत ने पूरा कर दिया कारगिल की लड़ाई।
सर कैप्टन विजयंत की क्या कहानी है हमारे दर्शक ये जानना चाहेंगे व्हाट इज हिज स्टोरी लाइक ही वाज विद 2 राजरीव सर
ही वाज विद 2 राजरीव 2 राजपुताना राइफल्स में थे उनकी कहानी मैंने इस किताब में लिख दी है विजयंत एट कारगिल।
Rahul refuses to call Pulwama a terror attack. For Rahul, it's militants, not terrorists. Was Pulwama not a terror attack for Rahul? Debating tonight at 9 p.m. India's biggest mafia crackdown. Yogi's bulldozer attack on organized crime. Biggest crackdown on organized mafia, debating tonight at 10 p.m.
Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Oppn Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 9. Presented by Amity University. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Century Ply and Panasonic.
Good evening and welcome. It is thoroughly unacceptable that Rahul Gandhi refuses to call Pakistani and Pakistan-backed terrorists as terrorists. He calls them militants instead. Rahul Gandhi will not call Osama bin Laden a militant. But he calls the Jaish-e-Mohammed and the Lashkar-e-Toiba militants. An Indian politician who on foreign soil takes a position that those who have carried out the killings of 26/11 and Pulwama are not terrorists, but militants, cannot be pardoned. Rahul Gandhi also says that according to him, the problem in Kashmir is not a problem of Pakistan-backed and Pakistan-sponsored terrorism, but rather that it's a insurgency. And Kashmir, instead of being a terrorist hit area, is an insurgency prone area. With this play of words, Rahul Gandhi has been caught red-handed, providing a direct and worrying rationalization and legitimization of terrorism in Kashmir. He is directly putting the blame on the Indian state. On foreign soil, he has made these comments, and he's making terrorists look like locals who are cornered by the violent Indian state. Now, this is straight out of the Prashant Bhushan and Arundhati Roy playbook. In the United Kingdom, Rahul Gandhi has also said that the quote-unquote militants did not harm him when he was in Kashmir because he came there with no violence to listen, because he's a listening, non-violent person. So Rahul Gandhi, are Kashmiri Pandits being killed because they are coming to and living in Kashmir with violence? Is the Indian army being targeted by terrorists because the Indian army is violent? And the militants like non-violent people? So Syed Salahuddin likes non-violent people like Rahul Gandhi. Hafiz Saeed likes non-violent people. The problem is with us. We are violent. We are forcing a violent reaction from essentially nice people like Hafiz Saeed and Syed Salahuddin and their gang members and their terrorist members because of our problem. Ladies and gentlemen, this kind of intellectually perverse positioning by an Indian politician on foreign soil repeatedly is nothing but a betrayal of the nation. It is an attempt at woke white man appeasement. Rahul Gandhi has also said once again that India is just a union of states. That's part of his continuing tirade against the concept of the Indian nation and Indian nationalism, the kind of Soros copy-pasting that India was never really historically a nation. Viewers, this is woke stupidity. Rahul Gandhi accepts Italy to be a nation. I'm sure he believes in the concept of Italian nationalism. But India, according to him, is not a nation, but Italy is a nation. Now, what would happen if Rahul were to go to Naples and say that Naples is a nation, Sicily is a nation, Rome is a nation, and Italy is just a union of nation states? Viewers, these comments are not ludicrous. We can't dismiss them just as stupid. We can't say anymore, oh, they're stupid comments, ignore them. No. They reflect a woke and intellectually compromised position on issues of our national interest. And a politician, any politician, who does not safeguard national interest cannot be trusted at all. Let's debate, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you say terrorists are not terrorists, they are militants. Militants like non-violent people like me, so they don't harm me. Now, you can argue that that's a kind of, intellectually vacuous comment, but no, it's more than that. Why not say terrorism? Debate number 2 tonight. No Mafia for Mafia. This is going very, very intense. Mukhtar Ansari, his gang members. Atiq Ahmed, his gang members. On the one side, the lobby now beginning to increase their attack on Yogi, who says no Mafia for Mafia. At 10:30 p.m. tonight, bribery charges hit the BJP. A cash stash on a BJP leader raises serious questions about the 40% bribe charge on the BJP that's in Karnataka. That's debate number 3. The BJP faces a cash stash corruption argument, corruption charge out there in Karnataka. And here are the headlines this Friday evening on the Debate Tonight.
That picture there is me putting flowers on the spot where almost 40 soldiers were killed by a car bomb some years back.
A car bomb, not a Pakistan-sponsored attack. Rahul Gandhi betrays India openly with his anti-India limited vocabulary, insults the Pulwama bravehearts on British soil.
Militants. Now, militants should normally kill me. In that environment, militants should kill me. And he says they're there.
He calls Pakistani terrorists. He refuses to call Pakistani terrorists terrorists. He says they are just militants. Militants who like a non-violent approach. Unbelievable comments by Rahul Gandhi.
सद्भावना के प्रतीक और पाकिस्तानी आतंकवाद पर चुप्पी, ये है राहुल गांधी की सही तस्वीर.
And after these comments, Rahul Gandhi is facing massive backlash, controversy, embarrassment over the insult to India. There are questions raised about why he won't call terrorists terrorists. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a big debate now. No Maafi for the Mafia. Yogi is going completely all out on day 3. No stopping the bulldozers. The no Maafi for Mafia approach is now being debated across the country, getting a lot of support. Bribegate hits the BJP. BJP hit by major Bribegate allegations ahead of the elections in Karnataka. BJP MLA's son arrested after being caught red-handed accepting the bribe. And BJP has a lot to explain. Wads and wads of cash and 9 bags in all. 9 crore rupees seized from one MLA's son in the biggest ever much needed Lokayukta recovery. Ladies and gentlemen, Rahul Gandhi's absurdities are best ignored. But when he goes on foreign soil and spills a presentation full of falsehoods, when he refuses to call Pulwama a jihadi terrorist attack, when he tries to use the lexicon of the Western media, refuses to call terrorists in Kashmir terrorists, when he said these are just militants who essentially appreciate non-violence, then ladies and gentlemen, this is a whitewashing of terrorism. This is a whitewashing of matters of national security. It has become extremely serious. Why he constantly also says that India is not a nation, was never a nation, is just a union of states. Though the bigger issue really is why he will not call out jihadi terrorism for what it is. Viewers, he also said that Pulwama was just a car bomb. He refused to say that it was a terrorist attack on our soldiers. He said the soldiers just died in a car bomb. Viewers, this play of words, this white man appeasement is the betrayal of the Indian nation. Let's debate.
He was playing on his phone when the bodies of our martyrs were brought in. Today, he calls their sacrifice a result of a car bomb.
So we are going through all the states, and Kashmir is a state which is insurgency prone, right? There's a lot of violence. There's been quite a lot of violence for many years. In fact, that picture there is me putting flowers on the spot where almost 40 soldiers were killed by a car bomb some years back.
A militant is defined as an aggressively active or combative individual in support of a cause. But this is how Rahul uses the word.
And he says, Mr. Gandhi, you've come here to listen to us. So I'm like, yes. And then he says, you see those guys over there? And I'm like, yes, who? He's like, those boys over there. He's like, the militants. Now, militants should normally kill me. In that environment, militants should kill me. And he says, they're there. And they're looking at you.
In fact, Rahul Gandhi in his address at Cambridge completely compromised national security.
Going through all the states, and Kashmir is a state which is insurgency prone, right? There's there's a lot of violence. There's been quite a lot of violence for many years. In fact, that picture there is me putting flowers on the spot where almost 40 soldiers were killed by a car bomb some years back. So we arrive in Kashmir, and Kashmir is this so-called violent place. And as I'm entering Kashmir, the security guys come to me and say, listen, we need to talk to you. So what do you need to say? And they say, well, look, the thing is, you can't walk in Kashmir. I'm like, why can't I walk in Kashmir? And they're like, well, because you'll get hand grenades thrown on you.
He implied that those who listen aren't targeted.
Because I had come into that environment listening. And I had come into that environment completely with no violence in me at all. And the vast number of people there were seeing that. Right? So that to me was an indicator of the power of listening and non-violence.
He deployed his aid to call this attack by the Jaish-e-Mohammed homegrown terror in the past.
To who provided the kilograms of RDX, the Mi-4 carbines and rocket launchers to the homegrown so-called terrorists. Homegrown so-called terrorists.
Rahul Gandhi, however, did use the word terrorism after the 26/11 attacks.
It is very difficult to stop every single terrorist attack. Terrorism is something that is impossible to stop all the time.
He ran down the integrity of India once again.
India is not described as a nation. In our constitution, the line is, India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. In the constitution, India is described as a union of states. And that union requires a negotiation, requires a conversation. So it's slightly different than other countries. You can think about it much more at the scale of Europe.
Politically, the BJP is taking him on.
आज देश राहुल गांधी के सही चेहरे को देखे कि भारत में कभी भारत की संस्थाओं का अपमान, विदेश में जाके भारत की जनता का अपमान और चीन का गुणगान सद्भावना के प्रतीक और पाकिस्तानी आतंकवाद पर चुप्पी, ये है राहुल गांधी की सही तस्वीर.
But the issue is not political.
When he says almost 40 people died, that means you even till date don't know how many people died. This is not my statement, that is some idiot speaking, that he doesn't know how many. I'm deliberately calling it idiot because if you are so unaware about your country, you are an idiot.
It's about the betrayal of the nation. Let's debate.
Viewers, I want to say that when these comments first got reported, Gaurav, it was first thought that no, this is a joke. He couldn't have said this. There was the first reaction many people had that this is a BJP group which is misinterpreting what Rahul Baba is saying. But then when we got the information, even in our newsroom, we said we must first see the video on what he has said. But I couldn't believe it actually, Savio, Sushil, that he says there that, and I'll go comment to comment on this and I'll just take a little while to go through. Sushil, first he says that when I went to Kashmir, the militants were there. I saw the militants, they saw me, some kind of a really crazy theory. That he was walking through, there was this wonderful, loving eye-to-eye contact between the militants. He would never call them terrorists. They are not terrorists, Sushil, they are militants, right? Just a few combative individuals fighting the Indian state. And he said that nobody hurt him. These militants didn't hurt him because they realized that he had come in the spirit of non-violence. So, in doing so, very interestingly, Pankaj and Rohit and Romesh Sabarwal and Nilanjan Das, he ascribes a quality to these terrorists, that they are first not terrorists. They know who is violent and non-violent. So, Sushil, Kashmiri Pandits are violent people. They are being killed because they come in violence. They deserve to be killed, according to Rahul Gandhi. by this logic because they come in violence, whereas Rahul Gandhi comes in non-violence, and the terrorists appreciate non-violence. This is straight, I don't know from which logic. So Sushil, I first want your comment on this. When he says that I listen, so Indian state doesn't listen, Kashmiri Pandits don't listen, anybody who gets killed by the terrorists does not listen, and it is their fault. So 4-year-old Vihan Kumar, 14-year-old Samiksha, who were killed when the terrorists threw grenades at Hindu homes, they came with violence. The 4-year-old came with violence. Rahul Gandhi comes with non-violence. Terrorists appreciate non-violence. This is the first time I've heard this level of stupidity where someone says that terrorists appreciate non-violence. This is like saying I was walking through Afghanistan, from a cave came out Osama bin Laden. He looked at me, I looked at him. Osama realized that I'm a non-violent kind of fellow, looked at me lovingly and let me go away. No, you are laughing, but it is both stupid and dangerous, this kind of logic, Sushil. It's really frightful.
Arnab, it's seldom that I disagree with you, but this time I have to.
Oh.
Because when you use repeatedly the word intellectual, when you are discussing someone like Rahul Gandhi, it's a clear case of exaggeration. The two do not belong together. And
no, I said intellectually shallow. I would say intellectually compromised. I would die, but not call anything but she has said intellectual. But this comment that terrorists appreciate the spirit of non-violence, terrorists like thinking and non-violent people like Rahul Gandhi. They don't like violent people like Sushil or any violent Kashmiri Pandit or any violent Indian Army soldier.
Two, the challenge that you throw whenever you bring him up is for us to make sense and make a sensible critique of what he says, which is often nonsense. And therefore, we are always at a loss what to do. He calls it car bomb. You know, this car bomb wokeism reminds me of someone who said, Pakistan didn't kill my father, war did. And this has since spread like an epidemic, this kind of logic, this kind of thinking. When he says we are not a nation, he proves that he is beyond education. He cannot be taught even elementary political science. He cannot be taught history. He cannot be taught what our civilization has been for thousands of years. You must cut him some slack, because what he has done to himself is become a provider of incessant comic relief in our politics.
No, that is one way of looking at it. But I'd like to bring in both Rohit and Ramesh Sabharwal, who's a member of the AICC. Mr. Sabharwal, when you say that the terrorists like non-violent people and terrorists don't hurt me because I come with no violence, I come with a spirit of thinking, I come with a spirit of non-violence, which means basically you are saying the terrorists are killing those who are violent. I'm just trying to understand. This is very convoluted. I mean, I don't get this thinking. I mean, you're a Congress leader. How do you react to this? How do you handle this kind of stuff? How do you do it, Mr. Sabharwal? What do you do? What's your reaction to this?
Arnab,
yes.
The Rahul ji has said categorically their insurgency. He used the word insurgency also. He used the word violent also. The Kashmiris, the people who was violent. These are twisting of words, you know. This is the confusion between insurgency, the terrorist, the militancy. These are three words in the dictionary, you know. If you go to the translation and all that, there is some confusion comes.
No, why won't you call a terrorist, Mr. Sabharwal?
Definitely, you're right.
Why wouldn't Rahul Gandhi call a terrorist a terrorist?
I appreciate what you're saying.
Kasav was not a terrorist?
He was a terrorist.
No, why would Rahul Gandhi use the word militant? You see, 1 minute. Either, are you saying he doesn't understand English? A militant is someone, I'll tell you, according to the Cambridge and Oxford dictionaries, someone who is active, determined, often willing to use force for a cause, right? A terrorist is a person who takes part in terrorism. By not calling a terrorist, You are making a call. You are saying is not terrorism. Would you call Osama bin Laden a militant?
No.
No, I want to know
appreciate
this.
what
Why
you're
would you? No, there were 3 references out there. Ramesh Sabharwal, this is a very serious issue.
No,
this is a serious issue, Mr. Sabharwal.
I appreciate. We will correct ourselves. We will correct ourselves.
No. 1 minute. One minute. I'll tell you one thing. 2 children were killed. I'm reading from a news report, and 5 people were injured in a terrorist incident in Rajouri on the 2nd of June 2023. Now the person who kills the 2 children by throwing a grenade at them is a terrorist or a militant? And if he's a terrorist, then why does Rahul Gandhi not call that person a terrorist? No, sir, it is a serious issue, sir. This is hurt.
No, I agree with you.
Why would you not call up? Why would you go to UK and say they are not militant?
We will take the precautions, but we will use the right words. But you are saying to us, we appreciate you have taken a good discussion of this topic. The insurgency he used, we should also see what is the tone and tenor of the total speech, what he was giving debate, what he was doing there. So he used the word insurgency 3-4 times. I was listening on your TV.
Yeah, why would he? Why was he? 1 minute, just 1 minute. 1 minute, sir. When you are saying insurgency, and Tuhin has put his hand up, I'm getting Gaurav also on this. And it is when you are using the word insurgency, you are basically saying that the locals are fighting a legitimate battle against the state. This is quite clear, Gaurav. That means you are saying that Kashmiris are fighting a very legitimate battle against the Indian state. You are portraying India as an oppressor state on British soil. Sir, you are going to a country which was our colonizer, and you are saying to them that India is an occupying force. You are taking a Pakistani lingo, sir, on British soil. I don't know who you want to make happy, but you are using the word insurgency. Sir, it is a case of terrorism, not insurgency. There's a world of difference between the two, Gaurav. There's a world of difference. This is extremely serious. I am not fooling around on this, Mr. I am very angry about this, sir. Please.
Well, we will take precautions.
No, sir, sir, let me tell you one thing. First of all, let me tell you one thing. I need to make a point. Almost 20 years back, Gaurav, I was a visiting fellow at Cambridge University, at Sydney Sussex College in Cambridge University. And out of my research there as a fellow, I produced a book in 2001 on laws against terrorism. And I want to tell you, Mr. Sabharwal, the British laws against terrorism are far stronger than the Indian laws at that time, before POTA. So to go to Britain and say that terrorism is not terrorism, even the British will laugh at you. Gaurav, I don't understand this. This is a major compromise. Either he doesn't know or he's willingly doing this. Someone's got to explain why you would do this.
We get confused. We get confused in these 3 words.
Sir, confusion.
Arnab, I would just like to tell, with your permission,
sir,
I'd like to bring to the notice of notice of Mr. Ramesh Sabharwal that there is no confusion between these words.
There is no confusion.
When a populace picks up arms against the state, the struggle can be legitimate or otherwise, but when they pick up arms against the state, when they fight against a bigger power, that is called insurgency. And what I would like to say is that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is an honorable member of parliament. He's not a common man who can say whatever he feels like. He goes to foreign soil in an esteemed university, there in front of the entire world. He says that I was looking at the terrorists and they were looking at me, and because I came in peace.
Yeah, because I
was there to listen. They did not harm me. And I don't know who's this person who goes to Mr. Rahul Gandhi at every place. You see, this one thing, Arnab, you must investigate. Whether he is in South India, in North India, East or West, somebody comes and says, oh, that happened. Some random person comes. Now in Kashmir, this random person says, oh, those guys standing there, they are quote-unquote militants. Then what were the security forces doing there? This is what I want to ask. Last point which I want to bring out, Arnab, is that, recently Rahul Gandhi also said, and it was covered in the media, where he said that I have studied the Chinese in detail. And what the Chinese actually want is harmony. Can you believe this, Arnab? He said the Chinese want harmony. That is what the Chinese seek.
He has said something
They don't
like
want
that
any
this time
problem.
also. So while he's criticized the Indian state, he has on British soil also praised China. So, you know, this is going a little crazy right now, and we are not being able to believe why he does this. But yes, Tohin, you see, yes, Tohin, please.
Arnab, at least today, Rahul Gandhi does not deserve any benefit of doubt driven to despondency by his infinite failures. He has very clearly embarked upon a nefarious agenda to denigrate the country, and I will show you a pattern in his behavior in the last 3 years. Starting 24th August, let me complete please, 24th August 2019, the Article 370 was abrogated on August 5, 2019. On 24th August, the Congress party was supposed to have its first meeting, the pretense to elect a new leader, when they could not. At around 8 p.m. on that day, 24th August 2019, Rahul Gandhi came out and spread the scanner that there is bloodshed in the Kashmir Valley. Pakistan used that to browbeat us for many weeks internationally. Starting then, if you look at Rahul Gandhi's visit to UK even last May, there were similar attempts. He met Jeremy Corbyn. Today he is towing Jeremy Corbyn's line.
That is a pro-Pakistani line. Jeremy Corbyn's line. Jeremy Corbyn's line.
He praised China.
No, but Jeremy Corbyn's line is a pro-Pakistani line.
Even on that
So the point when he makes to him, when he says to him that Pulwama, you see, Pankaj, you need to understand what he's doing. He goes there and he says, I was in Kashmir, which is supposedly a violent place where there's an insurgency. And I looked at the militants. They found me very non-violent. That's why they didn't hit me. They didn't attack me. So militants like non-violent people and thinking people like me. But in the craziest of crazies, he then goes on to say, Rohit and Pankaj, he goes on to say, you know, some soldiers died in a car bomb. Some soldiers died in a car bomb. You see, Pankaj and Rohit, you need to understand this. This was a Pakistan-sponsored terrorist attack. You are on foreign soil. You have questioned the Indian state. You have justified terrorism, called it militancy, described terrorism as a legitimate local insurgency, said that militants, according to you, appreciate non-violent people, and Pulwama was just a car bomb. No, Mr. Manchanda, there has to be a limit to everything. There has to be, we can't take this as just funny anymore. This is not funny. This is completely and absolutely unacceptably a compromise of national interest, Mr. Manchanda. Shameful.
You know,
it's shameful.
No, it is not shameful. It is shameful how the media is targeting this issue as a national issue and making it is so shameful.
Targeting.
Please understand.
1 minute.
How can you say it's not shameful? How can you say it's not shameful?
No, it is.
He's clearly showing his linkages to Pakistan and China. Analyze the entire statement. Rahul Gandhi is showing his linkages to Pakistan and China. He's showing his linkages to Pakistan and China. It is shameful. It is despicable. It is shameful. It is despicable. He is showing his closeness to Pakistan and China. He is showing his closeness to Pakistan and China. You admit that? You admit that? It is shameful.
That we can speak
one at a time. It is shameful. You
but there are strong sentiments now across the country on this, Mr. Rohit.
I don't want to argue with Rahul Gandhi.
So
what has Rahul Gandhi got to do with Pakistan and China?
Can I speak, please?
Rohit, this is not a... Rohit, first of all, Rohit, I tell you one thing.
Why is he going about browbeating over terrorism?
Can you ask the gentleman to please
Why is he browbeating over terrorism?
No, he's angry.
When does a militant remain a militant? There is no militancy in Kashmir. There is terrorism.
No, even we are angry. Even we are angry the way...
The way?
Arnab, listen to this. Listen to this. You are targeting to a person whose family...
It is shameful, my friend. It is shameful.
In a family,
his
Stand up for
father
India and stop-
his
stop
grandmother,
everything Rahul
they
Gandhi
were
does.
killed by terrorism.
Stop
Who knows
tolerating
better than
everything
him?
Rahul Gandhi does.
Who
Stop
knows
milking
better
that.
than Rahul ji? They have sacrificed their
So
family's
what?
life for the country.
So what?
And you are targeting.
Rahul Gandhi's
you are
father was
targeting
not the
of
only
what?
one who died.
Militancy.
Rahul
What is
Gandhi's
the-
father is not the only victim of terrorism. Rahul Gandhi's father is not the only victim of terrorism. 14
sir.
other people died.
Please understand.
14 other people died.
He has addressed it.
No, but okay,
14
now
other
tell
people
me.
died.
Okay, Mr. Manchanda and Pankaj, Mr. Sabharwal is also saying something. Mr. Sabharwal, may I ask, Savio, I know you are angry, but I just want to give the other side.
Arnab,
Yes,
it is
Rohit,
very
complete
clear.
your point. Yeah, complete your point, Rohit.
Let us talk once at a time, please.
Yeah, we are
One
talking
person
one at a time. Okay.
One person at a time.
Okay,
please.
Mr.
If he wants
Manchanda
to
will
carry
make
on
his
like talking
point
like this,
now. And
it is
then,
not
Mr.
acceptable.
Sabharwal, I'm coming back to you. I'm getting too many calls tonight, viewers. This is not an ordinary issue. If you are supporting terrorists by calling it an insurgency, you have to answer insurgency is an armed rebellion. It is a rebellion. Terrorism is not a rebellion.
Arnab, let me come back
Either
to
you
your
don't
point.
know
You
English or
raised-
are deliberately
you raised the
playing
point
with
on
it. Yes.
Kashmiri Pandits.
Yes, Kashmiri Pandits. What was it about
No,
Kashmiri Pandits?
you raised the issue of Kashmiri Pandits.
Yes.
Every resident of Jammu and Kashmir, who's getting killed is the saddest part for our nation. Whether it is Kashmiri Pandit, whether it is
Rohit,
any resident of Jammu and
can I ask
Kashmir.
you something? Rohit,
And they are
Rohit,
only targeting.
Rohit,
they are only
Rohit,
targeting. Why?
Rohit, I'll
Because
give you
of the failure
this.
of the current Modi and
Rohit, I have
our
Sushil
government.
here. I'm sure he wants to respond, but I want to say something here before Sushil does. Before Sushil does. You see, Rohit, be very clinically clear about this. I am of the view that terrorism cannot be defended through any argument. Terrorism is terrorism. Terrorism.
Who's defending
No,
it?
let me tell you who is Rahul Gandhi is, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, and people will hear me.
He didn't defend terrorism.
Yeah, people will. One minute, Pankaj, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why he has done so, and then you can respond to me. But you need to let me complete my argument on why he has done so, and then you can see. I'll tell you one thing, Pankaj. Pankaj, see. And please don't interrupt me right now for a minute, Sushil, because I need 2 minutes to explain a point. No, 1 minute.
There is
1 minute.
a saying in Punjabi.
Rohit,
There is a
Rohit, can I?
old saying in Punjabi.
Rohit, can I?
Arnab, there is a very old saying in Punjabi. No, please, just few seconds. Just few seconds. There is a very old saying in Punjabi. I'm just repeating it in Hindi. कि आटा गुंदी हुई हिल्दी क्यों है? मतलब आप आटा तो गूंद रहे हो, हिल क्यों रही है? So Rahul ji has to say something and you want to target it. And where
रोहित जी मेरी बात सुनिए. अभी मैं आपको रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ, मेरी बात सुने, मेरी काउंटर पूछे. कि पंकज ने मुझे कहा है हाउ कैन यू कॉल दिस सपोर्ट ऑफ टेररिज्म. मैं 2 मिनट लूंगा.
की जरूरत नहीं है.
मैं 2 मिनट लूंगा रोहित जी. मैं 2 मिनट लूंगा.
जो टेररिज्म है वो टेररिज्म ही है.
If you are saying, you see, the argument is, first, you are not calling terrorists. You are repeatedly calling them militants. आपको पता है कि by calling them militants, you will get a lot of वाहवाही in Britain, और वहाँ के left liberal media बोले कि वाह, an Indian politician who has the courage to come to Britain and say they are not terrorists but militants. So you have to decide. Do you want the support of the people of this country, or do you want the support of some of our colonizers? Second point is, you have made a story. First of all, as Sushil is, पता नहीं ये story कहाँ से आती है. I was walking and somebody told me, look here behind that tree there is a militant. And then the militant looked at me. Delusional. 1 minute. And the militant, no, Tuhin, let me complete the story. It's very interesting. And look here, there is a militant. And the militant should have killed me. Then I looked in. This militant gave me a look. I gave him a look back. We were looking at each other. The look happened. And he did not kill me. And do you know why they did not kill me? Because I am a non-violent and thinking man. Now that is a pure defense of terrorism, if there ever was one, because it is an argument which says a violent man is targeted by a terrorist, who I won't even call a terrorist, because the violent man is not changing his ways. So Sushil Pandit is a violent man. All the people killed by terrorists are basically violent people. I am a non-violent kind of guy. I am a non-violent kind of guy, so I won't be targeted. This is no. You are giving a quality to a terrorist which you should be ashamed of.
Family, the word
it is stretching things too far.
What is it? Stretched too far, Pankaj? Okay, Pankaj versus Gaurav. Yeah, why is it stretched too far? Pankaj, tell Gaurav.
Arnab, I want to see it is stretching things too far, and Mr. Goswami.
Oh, stretching too far. Let's see, I'll ask the people of this country.
Nation is not witnessing your ticklish art of twisting things for the first time, Mr. Goswami. Did he say that Pulwama was not a terrorist attack?
Yes.
See, everybody
yes, he said. No, 1 minute.
Everybody is agreeing that Pulwama was a Pakistan.
I'm sorry. No, 1 minute.
So can you please tell us what is the status of Pulwama probe after 4 years?
Okay, so can I just ask you a simple question and Gaurav will reply to you. If you go to Britain, you say Pulwama was a terrorist attack. Let's not be daft. Let's not speak like this. We are fully aware. On foreign soil, the first thing you say is Pulwama was a terrorist attack and Pakistan killed 40 of our soldiers. You don't go to appease the white man and go to say 40 soldiers, Gaurav, were killed in a car bomb.
A car bomb cannot be.
You are white. No. Car bomb by whom? Car bomb carried out by whom? Is it too difficult to say?
Car bomb is.
Will your Pakistani audience? You can't say. No. You. If you're talking to a Pakistani audience, if he has gone, Gaurav, to appease a Pakistani audience, because I fully know. No. These groups that are called South Asian. You are South Asian audience. I'm going to appease. I'm going to appease a South Asian audience, so I can't offend my Pakistani brothers. This is a complete compromise. Your problem is that you think we will let this thing go. You think it is not going to be a blemish on an individual's record. I want to tell you, Pankaj, listen. I bring you to the debate with Gaurav. 1 minute. 1 minute.
The problem.
I'll tell you one thing.
Is 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. show has to target Rahul ji on something or the other.
1 minute. I'll tell you one thing, Mr. Rohit Manchanda. I have spent a few years studying in the United Kingdom, right?
Please.
And unlike Rahul, I was a legitimate student of both Oxford University and Cambridge University. I was in Oxford on a scholarship and in Cambridge on a fellowship. I have some idea of what people respect in Britain. They respect intellectual honesty. And let me tell you one thing. Margaret Thatcher, Gaurav, when she survived a bomb attack, right? 1984. Her comment, you know what it was, Pankaj? She said all attempts to destroy democracy by terrorism will fail. The British call it terrorism. And Rahul Baba goes to Britain and refuses to call it terrorism. Now explain it to Gaurav. Since you're saying I'm playing with words. And the BBC, by the way, 1 minute, one last thing.
Where has he said?
One last thing.
Is he saying that he has refused to call it a terrorism?
Oh, then call it terrorism.
Nowhere you
have called it militants.
His entire speech.
You refused. You don't call terrorism by any other word, Rohit.
He's saying very clearly it is militancy.
But militancy is not terrorism, sir. Terrorism is terrorism. Don't play with words. Gaurav is on the debate. This is ridiculous.
No. I just want to
whether you call it militancy or you call it
it matters.
No, sir. I am with your permission.
Whether he has called militancy or he has
no, sir. I'll tell you.
No, sir. No.
I'll tell you, sir. Allow me to complete, please. Sir, there is a lot of difference between terrorism and militancy. It's like saying that whether you're part of the Samajwadi Party or the Congress Party does not matter because both of you are politicians.
Mr. Sabharwal.
It's not like that. There are specific differences and there are stark differences. A militant uses force. A terrorism uses terror. A terrorist uses terror. There is a lot of difference.
Boss, what?
We also
एक minute, sir. Sir, एक minute. My request is, sir, that Mr.
Meaning same है.
नहीं सर. Sir. आप गलत कह रहे हैं सर. You're wrong.
इंग्लिश की ट्विस्टिंग है.
No, sir.
अब आपको
ट्विस्टिंग नहीं है.
नहीं सर. सब इंग्लैंड में पैदा होने से फर्क नहीं. If you अगर राहुल जी सर एक मिनट. Can you please allow me, sir?
In front of the
Sir, can you please allow me to complete and not interrupt, sir? Yeah, I didn't interrupt when you were talking.
These are Cambridge University
so please.
dictionary was twisting of words.
Sir, you are saying Rahul studied at Cambridge. He studied at St. Stephen's. और कितनी अंग्रेजी सीखेंगे वो?
He will take.
By the way, sir, I'll just tell you, sir. Allow me to complete, sir. Allow me to complete, sir.
But he's saying.
No, the word, it matters, sir.
Sir, I'll just tell you, I just want to tell you, sir, that terrorism is something which is very, very, very different from militancy. They're not the same thing. And insurgency is something totally different. It's 180 degrees different.
I'll tell you
a militant who picks up the weapon, sir. A militant picks up a weapon to achieve a certain aim and uses violence. A terrorist will go and do car bombing. He will do killing. He'll kill innocent people to achieve that aim. There is a lot of difference. You can't say that he got confused. I'm just speaking on a technical point. Being from the armed forces.
So technicalities have no meaning. Technicalities have no meaning, Mr. Gaurav.
Technicalities have no meaning.
When we call someone a militant, we call him a terrorist. Bhindranwale was called militant. Bhindranwale used to
on the left, yeah.
Militant. Was he a terrorist or a militant? Newspapers used to write the word.
Why are you speaking like
no doubt in anybody's mind. Arnab, after all that Rahul Gandhi has uttered today, let us for once safely conclude that he's very clearly towing the line of George Soros and Jeremy Corbyn. But what is most condemnable, you're missing out slightly on that, is his belabored attempts to legitimize and endorse China's debt diplomacy, which has wreaked economic havoc upon the world. Last year he said China is spreading the idea of prosperity to the world, and yesterday again he praises CCP. That is what is most insidious and most malified, the attempts to legitimize and endorse the Chinese mindset, which is responsible for economic havoc in the world.
Pankaj, I want to...
Such a serious Pakistan-sponsored terrorist attack on us.
Pankaj, I just want to say this, please. You know, on the 22nd of March 2017, when there was a terrorist attack near the houses of the UK Parliament, the BBC called it a terrorist attack. The problem is with politicians like Rahul who want to do white man appeasement. The BBC, when there was an attack in Paris, you know, you remember the attack in Paris where there was a citywide gun and bomb attack. It was called a terrorist attack. It was not called an act of militancy. And I'm curious also to know, Pankaj, and maybe Nilanjan can come in on this, Nilanjan. Why would you refuse to say that India has historically been a nation? Now, when you say it's a union of states, the counter question would be...
Constitution says this.
No, 1 minute. Can you
Constitution of India says this.
Sandhu's agenda.
I mean, you know, I tell you one. I'm asking Nilanjan, can you go to Italy, can Rahul Gandhi go to Italy and say that Italy is not a nation? Let him say that.
No, why should he say that?
Well, because
why should he say that?
So he has to accept that Italy is a nation. So he accepts that Italy is a nation. He believes in Italian nationalism, Savio, but not in the idea or the premise of Indian nationalism. So you're basically trying to say India is like India is like a wishy-washy structure like the EU.
Nation.
No, he has said India is like the EU. He has said India is like the European Union. I mean, this is how can you go on British soil and say this? How can you go to UK post? I mean, Nilanjan, 1 minute. You have to be particularly daft to go to UK post Brexit, where Sushil, you spend so much time in the UK, to go to UK post Brexit and say, I come over a country that is not historically a nation, that's just some loose union of states.
No, he has not said that.
Society
he has said that India, according to the constitution, is a union of states. He is absolutely right. And I was trying to come in, since the last 45 minutes, I was trying to correct you. Do you know what is the definition of a nation? Or no, you are trying to define insurgency and this and that. Please define what is a nation.
Okay, can I respond to you, please?
No, you have to respond.
Yeah, so I will, but if provided you stop hyperventilating, I'll respond in a second.
Yeah.
So here it is, and I'll give you because I have a keen interest in both history and geography. I will say 5 things, and these are not rhetorical comments, these are very well thought comments. Can you go to Italy and say that Italy is a union?
Define what is a nation.
Allow me, please, please, first of all, please, I give elaborate responses when I'm asked. If you can go to Italy and say, see, this is a union of 20 regions and not a nation, that Calabria is just a part of the union of states, and can you go tomorrow and say Sicily is just part of a union of states, Sicily is the nation, or Toscana is the nation, or Umbria is the nation, Italy is only a union, then you'll be told to get out. You've got to be rational about these things. You cannot say Italy is a conversation. Italy is a negotiation.
Is a union of states.
You are saying Italy is a negotiation and Sicily is a nation. Can you say Italy is a negotiation?
On a national
You've got to be really stupid to say that.
The Constitution of India. Shame on you first.
If you want to respond like that, nothing can help you.
From the Cambridge Dictionary. A nation is defined as a large body of people united by common
having to learn about
No wonder
this is the idea
India.
of the BJP and
No
RSS.
wonder they start over vivisection of Mother India
as a single Hindi Hindutva.
It should surprise no
There's
one.
no Hindi Hindutva in Indian nationalism, sir.
That they will
Of course it is there. A nation is defined as a body of people united by a language.
Okay, why?
They are absolutely irresponsible in creating such theoretical constructs.
No, I know you are a well-learned man. You should
We
read up the
are
Constitution.
a nation.
Savio.
We
Article
are
1
an
of the
ancient
Constitution
nation.
says that it's a union of
We are
states.
one people.
Then let
We
the
have one
government
ancestry.
make some amendment in the
one culture.
Constitution.
We have one civilization.
I want to make some other point. Arnav, first of all, I think you are wasting time discussing whatever Mr. Gandhi has said on a foreign soil, because I don't find, much substance in whatever he has said. I think you are missing much larger points. You are not discussing price rise. You are not discussing the post-poll violence in Tripura. These are the issues that you should be discussing, rather than discussing what Mr. Gandhi has said.
Right.
What words he should have used.
When you
for your program.
It is important.
Editor.
I have covered the elections in elaborate detail all of yesterday.
No, you haven't reported the post-poll violence in Tripura that is undergoing even now.
No, but you're not on the point.
Position in your editorial.
No, but
It is important to discuss.
as a journalist, you should be covering
Savio.
the
It is
issues that matter
important
to
to
the people.
discuss because a member of parliament has gone to Cambridge. A
You can't
member
do
of
this.
parliament has gone to Cambridge and termed
And you are discussing
terrorism
what he
as
hasn't
militancy.
said, and you are discussing what
Has
Mr. Gandhi
termed
hasn't said.
terrorism as militancy.
No, if you- I
a
mean-
member of parliament from India. What are you telling the
No, you
people?
are discussing.
What are you telling the people?
you
Are
are
you
discussing the
browbeating
word
No, I will just say this.
Terrorism is terrorism.
By the way, I retain the right to debate on what I feel I want to debate. And I'm saying this despite the fact that Republic is valiantly fighting the Bengal government, which is putting all kinds of false cases against us at the drop of a hat. Now my question to you is
You don't have the guts to question the Modi government. You don't have the guts to question the National Human Rights Commission.
Never.
This is the fact.
Now, question is, would
You
you
have
call
no
would you
guts to
call
question
would you
them.
call Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi of the ISIS a militant or a terrorist?
At 9 p.m.
Would you call Osama bin Laden, the mastermind of 9/11, a militant or a terrorist?
Just because he has said something rubbish and you are discussing that instead
So
of
you
discussing
accept
the
it's
real
rubbish.
issues.
Good, that's all.
Of course I do. Of course he has said something rubbish.
Go on.
Arnav, I'd like to ask him a question.
Defend
But
rubbish.
just one question.
So you have come here to defend rubbish.
No, I haven't come here
You
to
have come
defend
here to
Mr.
defend
Gandhi.
rubbish.
No,
What are you
I
trying to
haven't
say?
come here
I'm
to
saying
defend
it's
Mr.
not a
Gandhi.
play
I'm
of
not from the
words.
Congress.
I'm saying you have to be conscious, and I'm saying this in the backdrop that
absolutely conscious
I'm
about
saying
what
it
I'm
in the
saying.
backdrop that unfortunately the Tukre gang in
India
our
is defined
country,
as a union of states, and
Nilanjan,
that is the definition the people of India must know.
Nilanjan, the Tukre gang in our country call Afzal Guru
No,
also a
BJP is the
militant, not a
Tukre
terrorist.
gang. They want
The
to divide the
Tukre gang
Hindus,
calls
Muslims,
Afzal
and
Guru a
every other
militant.
community. BJP is the Tukre gang.
Arnav, can I just interfere? Interrupt you
I
for
have
a
run
second?
short of time, but Rohit,
Please discuss the real issues or no. People of India are watching.
absolutely. When I come back on the other side, another real issue, no Mafi for Mafia. Very, very important issue, ladies and gentlemen. No Mafi for Mafia. Very important issue, the cash stash at a BJP leader's son's office or residence. Two big issues when I'm back in a couple of minutes. Please come back with me.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
Arvind Kejriwal has accepted the resignation of both of his top ministers accused of corruption. Satyendra Jain accused of hawala, money laundering and other such matters. Manish Sisodia accused of corruption in Liquorgate. Arvind Kejriwal beginning to distance himself from both. Politics, after all, is all about survival. And all politicians will go all out to make sure that any dirt does not stick, especially not on them. Arvind Kejriwal has massive national ambitions. So while standing by them, he is by gently asking them to resign, also ensuring very smartly that there is a distance between him and